gentlemen, I wish I could be with you in person, but it was important to me to share a few thoughts with you from the German Foreign Office in Berlin, at least. These are such important times for Africa and Europe. We have been aware of this for many years. But wow, it is really becoming obvious now. The world is changing so fast. The global economy, the geopolitical context, the way that international relations are conducted. And all of these changes drive home one central point. Either all of us will just be takers of external forces, or we will go out there and build strong partnerships with those who share our values and interests. And let me be clear, we do not need to agree on everything, not at all. Even my husband and I don't agree on everything. But where we agree, we should team up. With full determination, this is the time to make the partnerships across our neighboring continents deeper than ever, faster than ever. In Germany and the European Union, we are all in on this. Let me give you just a few updates and examples across 4 areas. First, on our political and multilateral partnerships. Together, the African Union and the European Union make up 40% of votes in the United Nations. When we join forces, we can make a difference. The UN system is under pressure, and yes, it needs reform. But that reform needs to be responsible, reliable, and fair. That is one reason why Germany is a candidate for the UN Security Council in 2027-28. And fair global representation must be one of the main objectives for a future-proof UN. The German government has been very clear. We support 2 permanent African seats at the UN Security Council. We think that the AU-EU summit in Luanda was a very good signal, and it was a priority for Chancellor Merz to attend personally. We reaffirmed our strategic partnership with each other at a time when it mattered. Germany is the largest bilateral supporter of the African Union, both institutionally and on a very operational level, with projects that often do not get noticed enough. For example, we are the main supporters of the AU border program. It has already marked 9,000 kilometers of borders. More than 10 cross-border agreements between African countries have been agreed. This is an important step to reduce the risk of conflicts. Second, we invest a lot in peace and security. I recently came across a saying from Kenya. It goes, "Peace is costly, but it is worth the expense." I like that. It's true. Here are a few updates on priorities for us. In the Great Lakes region, we support mediation efforts last year as chair of the International Contact Group. The conflict in the Great Lakes region has to stop, as well as the horrible violence that women and girls are suffering. Every 4 minutes, a woman in Eastern DRC is raped. Every 30 minutes, a child. Civilians have suffered for so long. This is why we keep engaged for a peaceful solution. Also in Sudan, the war grinds on, while many look elsewhere. The Sudan war deserves more attention. It is the largest humanitarian crisis in the world right now. When I traveled to Sudan in October, I was stunned to find out that almost no European politician went there since the war broke out 3 years ago. I spoke with the people who suffer from this war. I spoke with General Burhan on the day when Al-Fashir fell. And I traveled straight from Port Sudan to the United Arab Emirates to continue the difficult work towards peace and a transition to civilian rule. That will also be our goal when Germany will co-host the Sudan conference in Berlin on April 15th together with the African Union and other partners. Until there is peace, we will continue to stand by the Sudanese people with humanitarian funding of 160 million euros in 2025 alone. A third priority for us is our economic partnership. The war in the Middle East and Iran's blockade of the Strait of Hormuz have shown again how interconnected our economies are. The way forward is closer cooperation. There is such vast potential in connecting our markets, our workforce, our expertise, and our resources. Germany fully supports the long-term vision of a comprehensive trade agreement between the EU and the EU, no more than ever. We are pushing ahead fast with EU trade agreements with Mercosur, with India, and just a few days ago, we signed with Australia. If you push ahead also, you will find us by your side. On the way there, Germany and the EU are contributing to make the Pan-African Free Trade Area a reality. Germany is the main bilateral supporter with 227 million euros spent for this implementation since 2016. We also support regional organizations because they are the backbones for Pan-African integration. Last but not least, we invest in cultural and people-to-people partnerships, in cultural, academic, and scientific cooperation. Ultimately, relations between neighbors and friends are human connections. That is also why I travel to Africa as much as I can. In less than a year as Minister of State, I have visited Chad, Sudan, Botswana, Egypt, Ethiopia, and South Africa. In April, I will be traveling to Senegal to open the Goethe Institute in Dakar. It's going to be a stunning building by German Burkinabe architect Francis Kéré. We have built it because we want to invest more in the exchanges between Senegal, West Africa, and Germany. Ladies and gentlemen, there is so much uncertainty and cause for concern at the moment. But there is uncertainty, there is also urgency and opportunity. And to us in Germany and the EU, the message is clear: more and deeper partnerships with our neighbors in Africa. Thank you.